Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. It is week 2 of April and I am here with another sketch, and I cannot wait to share with you guys what I did at my first on stage and some really fun interactive elements that I did for journaling. And I share some clustering ideas and most specifically how to get these flip flaps onto your pages so that you can create multiple spaces for extra photos. So I'm going to drop you down onto my desk and we are going to get crafting. Many of you know that I was at Onstage back at the beginning of March, and it was my very first onstage with Stampin' Up! And it was such an incredible 3-day event. I even got to see Sarah Douglas and have a brief conversation with her. She is just such a lovely human being, and the message that she shares every day about eradicating loneliness and creating a community for people to get together and craft is just powerful and moving. And it was just so fun to reconnect with my close to my heart friends and celebrate the incredible year that we had with Stampin' Up! In our transition from close to my heart to Stampin' Up! So without getting too emotional, which I tend to do when I talk about close to my heart, because it truly was so near and dear to my heart, and I still miss it to this day. Sorry about that. Didn't mean to get emotional, but it's real, and the emotions are still very real and raw. But let's talk about this amazing brand new product suite, which will be launching in May. It is part of an online exclusive. It's called Floral Impressions Suite Collection. And let me just move my pictures out of the way, because you're going to see why I chose this suite to use for my pictures. This is the sketch that we're going to be using. It is such a simple and quick and easy sketch, you guys. I hope that you enjoy how fast and easy this is going to be to use. But this is what the suite collection includes. Oh my gosh, this is just such an amazing collection. Look at these designer series papers and how fabulous they are. So not only do you get these amazing flowers, but on the back side, you're going to get these incredible coordinating patterns to go with them. And these are the two that I'm going to be working with today. It is this fabulous paper. And look at this. Look at how what I'm wearing is just such a perfect complement to bring out these colors and have them accent my pictures. And then we're going to use the back side of this one, which is the Old Olive. And I just love the dotted lines. The dots and the lines, they're just such a great pattern to use together. But then all of these other florals and then coordinating patterned paper that go with them is just really going to be fun to be creating with these. And then this is the photo polymer stamp set with the coordinating dies. I'm using the dies to create some amazing flowers that we're going to be playing with. So you're going to see a lot of them used. And the one thing that I love about these dies is that some of them are nested so that you get to create this impression. So for instance, this die right here, not only will it cut out the background of the image, but then it has this fabulous impression that it will leave in this, and it embosses it, so to speak. And then you'll also see the same thing with these leaves. So right here, this leaf has the cutout, but then it also has the embossed side to it, and it will create this fabulous look to that leaf. Then you also have just these pieces that will just cut out the leaves on their own. And then look at these layered pieces. So you have this fabulous stem right here, and then you have the topper, which are these little guys. And I absolutely love that you can just build them and create these stunning looks to the flowers. So we're going to be playing with those and having a lot of fun with layering and just creating a lot of dimension with the various cardstocks and these dies. And then this is another piece that's brand new. It is the gold foil tags, and oh, let me just look really quickly. They're called the Foiled Frames and Labels Ephemera Pack, and oh my gosh, these are so beautiful. That stunning gold foil. So many different ideas for these, not only for cards, but I can't wait to share with you what I'm going to do with them for scrapbooking. And then these are brand new Strawberry Slush and Pretty in Pink gems. And then look at this amazing embossing folder. It's the pressed flowers, and look at what you can do with your cardstock. So at On Stage, this was the set that they gave us, and oh my gosh, it was so exciting to receive this as part of our one of the create and takes that we did. And so this was just, I had to pull these out and use them. So I'm going to put these off to the side. I'm going to go ahead and cut my papers. I am using these 3 colored cardstocks, Blackberry Bliss, Night of Navy, and Pool Party, for the majority of the layout, including photo mats and just accent pieces. But then I'm going to pull in Pool Party. I'm going to pull in the Fresh Freesia and Old Olive. We're going to bring in some Blackberry Bliss for some of the flowers, and then also the Petal Pink for flowers. And we can't forget to use just the White Willow as some accents, and I'll be playing around with this. You'll just see that we're going to really be building these flowers in fun and unique ways. And then let's not also forget Night of Navy, because look at these baby, itty bitty baby flowers. We're going to be using those little guys as accents as well. So just stay tuned. I'm going to show all of this to you, but I wanted you to see this before we get started. So I'm going to just set these off to the side. I'm also using the Nested Essential Dies. I'm going to be using those for my title and for my subtitle. I've already gone ahead and cut those pieces out. So I'll be doing like a date on this one, and then I'm going to be doing my title with the mini alphabet die and spelling out On Stage. My first On Stage will be the title on here. So I'm going to go ahead and get cutting, and we will come back and start assembling this. Here is what everything looks like when I cut it out, and I'll walk you through what I did. I cut the Designer Series paper in the Impressions, Floral Impressions, Floral Impressions, right down the middle. This gave us our 2 pieces for here. These are a 1/2 inch by 6, 1/2 inch by 6, and then these are 4 by 9. And again, everything's in the guide. So if you don't already subscribe to my email, please make sure you join my email list every Friday at 6 p.m. I send out not only the sketch, but I give you the instructions, and I also give you all the supplies that I used to create this if you wanted to recreate this. We're going to start with the left side first, finish with the right side. You can see how easy this sketch is. And then this is how I did my title. I spelled out first On Stage using the mini alphabet in Night of Navy, White Willow, cardstock, and then also the Blackberry Bliss. So let's take away all of our photo mats, which I will be using flip flaps. And I'm going to show you how I attach my flip flaps. I'm going to be doing some more journaling. I did create a subtitle, and I wanted to talk to you about this. I printed it out on my computer, ran it through my computer, and then I took the die and I ran that through my computer with some adhesive on the back of it. I did use the Stamp and Seal, and it does a great job printing directly onto the cardstock. So that is another little fun tip and trick that I like to do, because I don't always like my handwriting. I know it's important to use my handwriting, and trust me, I have quite a few things that already have my handwriting on it, But sometimes things like this, like something for my own personal use, I just want to go ahead and take the easy route and print it on my computer. So that's how I did that piece. And that's going to go over there. And we're going to attach these little guys first with some Stamp and Seal adhesive. I try to go really slowly, as you can see. I failed right there, but guess what? That's why I love these rub and remove erasers, because everybody makes mistakes, right? And those are, they come to the rescue. So we're going to just go ahead and attach the cardstock onto the DSP. And I love the Night of Navy. It is just such a beautiful dark navy. Whoops, that. I don't know how that. Everything else got on here cut right, but this one for some reason did not. So let me see if I can gently pull this off and adjust this. And I may need to trim it, but that is better. Okay. I don't know how that happened, but it did. And I don't have my Versamats out today, so I'm going to just do this on my work surface. And hopefully I am getting this in full view. Whoops. See, this is what happens when I'm not paying attention. Things don't get on there straight. But thank goodness this adhesive is a little forgiving if you kind of twist it. Let's get this up here. That becomes straight. And that is straight. Little hangover, but that's all right. Oh gosh, this is just really not my day today. Oh, and I hear things tearing under here, and that doesn't make me happy either. Let's see if we can do this. Let's just take our time, which sometimes I feel like I am always in a hurry. Okay, that's much better. And then we're going to attach this right to the center. Just like that. And then we're going to do the same thing over here. Hopefully my head will not get in the way of the camera. Put this one down here, just like that. And we're going to line those up just like that. I'm going to eyeball this one. Just about like that, I'm going to guess. Maybe a smidge down. Just like that. And then let's get our photo mats in here. I did the 4x4s, which are 4 1/4 by 4 1/4. I wanted those to be up here at the top. I want to have these. I want this one to go right in the center. And then I want this one to come over because I want to have a little bit more room for this to hang over and not touch the photo too much. And then this is going to come right up there. I love using a combination of 3x4s and 4x4s. And then we want about 1/4 of an inch left. And then that is going to touch just like that. So I'm going to go ahead and tack these down. Whoops. Sometimes that happens where I attaching that adhesive, and you just need to pull ever so slowly. You don't have to go fast. I'm gonna just get that out of the way. I just feel like I have so much adhesive all over my fingers right now. Okay, so I'm just kind of eyeballing this. I want it to be about 1/4 of an inch on each side. Just like that. This is going to be my journaling, and I am going to, again, print some of that out on Canva. I've really been enjoying doing that. And then I think I'll also do some additional, I have so much to say about On Stage and the experience and just the memories and my takeaways, that I wanted to make sure I had enough room. So I will be putting some of my journaling in with my flip flaps. I'm going to just make sure that the adhesive, that there's enough space underneath here so that it won't touch my photo. And then I'm going to just do, again, this like that. So I'm going to create this visual triangle too. So my visual triangle will be this cluster. I'm going to do a cluster here and then finish with a cluster over here. So I like to talk about balance and design when I'm teaching. And I just want to walk you through my process on how I came up with that. And there we go with that one. And then we're going to finish with that photo. And then I just had this kind of idea today to take the silicone mat from Stampin' Up, and I'm actually using my old Close to My Heart chamois tray to keep all of these cut pieces on here. And I love the silicone craft mat because if I have adhesive on the back of some of these things, they aren't going to stick. And so these are the flowers that I cut with the dies. The Impressions Abloom Dies, which are right here. Just, oh my gosh, there's just so many here, and they're so fabulous. And I want to give you a tip. When you are cutting a nested image like these, you want to make sure that you use a Post-it note to keep them together so that as you're running them through your machine, they will stay together and not shift. And the only reason why I know that is because I tried them without and they did shift. And you don't want to bend them or ruin them when you are using them on your die cut machines. So that was just another little tip that I wanted to share with you. And so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to speed up the video so that you don't have to see me painfully move and shift and adjust things. But I'm going to get these all staged where I want them. And then I'm going to go ahead and start tacking them down. Before we continue, I just have one huge favor to ask you. If you're new to this channel and you like the content that you're seeing right now, I would love it if you would go down below and ring that notification bell and subscribe to this channel. It's the only way for it to grow, and I can't do it for you. I need your help. So ring that bell if you haven't already. Thank you for those of you that do subscribe. I can't believe how much we've grown in the last 4 weeks just because I asked you guys to ring that notification bell. So let me get you back down onto my desk and let's continue crafting. A tip that I want to share with you when I am creating clusters is I will cut out multiple pieces of the dies that I'm going to be using. So for instance, with this one, I cut out multiple large, medium, and small flowers. And then I also cut out multiples of these connected flowers with the stems and put them together, and then just started laying them out onto the scrapbook layout to kind of get an idea for the clusters and the feel. And I didn't want the clusters to match, and that's probably my biggest tip, is don't have your clusters match. You really truly want the eye to be drawn to each cluster individually, and they create continuity when they don't all match up. So that's probably my biggest tip that I learned, especially playing with this large of a dice set with flowers. there are so many of them. And I also wanted to make sure that I added enough greenery in between the flowers themselves. And I like to do a single leaf on one side and then a double leaf on the other. And again, that creates more continuity and some depth. And then I like to kind of hug them around the focal point that I'm creating the cluster for. So that's why with my title and subtitle, you're going to see that I'm really nesting those clusters around the shape of the title and the subtitle. And then once I get them where I'm happy with them, I will then make sure that I've got adhesive and use a combination of liquid adhesive and the 3M dots, as well as the tape runner for securing them onto the page. And I love those itty little bitty flowers. I know I mentioned that earlier, but oh my gosh, they're like the perfect complement, especially putting them in night navy. They're the perfect color to accent on the old olive and just again create some depth to the page, because there is a lot of white space with the base pages being white. So I wanted to make sure that I used enough depth in the flower colors, as well as having some brightness for the page to create, again, some balance. So I'm just tucking in these leaves, and they're super sticky with the tape runner. I'm not going to lie. I probably would have used the 3M dots, but I was trying to be efficient while I was putting this together. So feel free to experiment with adhesive. There truly is no right or wrong adhesive to use with this. It's whatever you prefer and what makes it the easiest for you when you're attaching things to your pages. And again, you can just see that I love layering with the leaves that had the embossed piece that you would cut with the die, as well as just the die that was already embossed. They have a lot of great depth on them. And I'm just moving things and adjusting as I need, and I'm finding the 3M dots. So now I'm going to use the 3M dots on the back of these little itty bitty flowers, because they truly do need something like that. Liquid adhesive is great, but I'm such a messy scrapbooker that I don't trust myself with liquid adhesive when I'm using a scrapbook page. A card's different, but on a scrapbook layout, I just make too big of a mess. So I'm just getting the backings off of those little guys before I adjust further. And then I'm going to just kind of adjust things right down here in the bottom. I love the layering of these double clusters. This happens to be one of my favorite new sets that is going to be available in May. So if you are making a shopping list, this would be the Impressions Abloom, and the Floral Impressions is definitely a collection that you're going to want to have. They're so unique. Again, that's the one thing I'm really enjoying about Stampin' Up! Is that they come out with a lot of different flower sets, but they're also unique and different. You really feel like you need to have them all, because they offer so many different varieties in crafting. And I can really see myself getting a lot of mileage out of this set for future scrapbook layouts, as well as cards and even some 3D projects. So now I'm just tacking down this last cluster around my subtitle, and again, just using the 3M dots to build these little clusters and tuck the stems behind the other cluster of stems. And just adjusting as I need to and getting them exactly where I want. I love being able to have those clusters go and fill in that open white space. I really wanted the other cluster on the left page to do the same thing, but I kind of adjusted things and brought things a little bit closer together. But all in all, I'm really pleased with the way this turned out. And I love layering leaves and flowers together. And then those little extra, I don't even know what you'd call them, but I cut one in the pool party, and I also cut one in the Blackberry Bliss. I just felt it was really nice to have those kind of fill in some of that empty white space there. And I was struggling with the leaves right there a little bit. Got a little too much adhesive on them. So it happens. And then I'm using my tweezers to pull them off. And oh my goodness, it's a mess sometimes when I'm crafting. But you guys get the gist of what I was trying to do here. And I'm just adjusting those little clusters as needed. And then once we get this all tacked down, we are ready to move on to where we're going to put the photos and also the hidden journaling. So thank you so much for letting me kind of give you a little step-by-step on how I do all of my clusters. And I hope you learned a few tips along the way as you were watching me. Now that I've got this all done, I've got all my pictures where I want them in my flip-flaps. I know which ones are going to be on the top as well as on the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and start placing these down. And then this is a flip-flap, and I want that one to go there. And then these two are not going to have flip-flaps. And I'm going to place these right here. And this one is going to go here. And then this one is going to go down there. And then this is going to have a flip-flap. So I'm going to just gently lift these up so that I can get this in there. Just like so. And then this will be a flip-flap right like that. And then these little guys, let's see. These are going to be stacked on top of each other. And then this one is going to come over here. And then this one is going to go there. I'm going to go and quickly do my journaling, and then I'm going to come back and show you how to attach these with the flip-flaps. These are going to get stacked on top of each other. This one is going to go here, and I will have some additional journaling inside there. And then this is there, and then I'm going to have some journaling on there. So I'll be right back. I just got done doing my journaling inside Canva, and then I printed them out, and you can see with Canva that you can change things. You can change the spacing between your words. You can change the height, the width, everything. Like, I am loving doing my journaling on Canva because I like to tell more of a story, and I don't always get that opportunity to do that when I'm literally handwriting my stories. So I was able to get a little more of an extended story here as well as there. And now I am ready to put these inside my page protector. But before I do that, I want to take a little bit of some bling because I love me some bling. And I want to just kind of accent with these. These are the rhinestone basic jewels, and they remind me so much of our Bitty sparkles and our sparkles that Close to My Heart had. And so I'm going to just strategically place some around here just to catch the eye. Whoops. So I'm using a combination of, like, it looks like they've got 3 sizes. Like, these are the largest. There's a medium. Here, let me bring this up to camera. So there's a large, a medium, and then there's these small ones. So I'm using a combination of, this was like a small, this is a medium, and then I should probably do a big one down there. And then let's come over here and do the same thing. Let's do a big one there. Let's do a smaller one, say maybe over here. And then I'll do this medium one over there like that. And I don't really think I need any down here. I decided that I'm going to stack these 3 flip-flaps on top of each other, and I'll show you how to do that because I didn't really want to cover up the flowers over here as much with that, and I think having that flip-flap right like that, I'm really happy with the balance that you get. So let me just hold this up so that you can see how beautiful this cluster is, along with the cluster that I created over here, my journaling. And then here is the last of the clusters, this one down here, and then this cluster over here with this kind of subtitle, I call it. So I'm going to take my top loading page protectors. It's going to go into my album like this. I just want to make sure I have it in the right direction. There's nothing worse than putting your flip-flaps on a page and then not being able to get them into the album because you put them on incorrectly. And then you have to tear them off and start all over again. So I'm just sliding these down in here like this. And then what I'm going to do, let's get the larger one on here first. The 4x4, I'm just peeling off the backing right here. And you're going to flip it and then stick it. And I want to make sure that those photos line up just like that. And then just kind of press down on them. Let's go ahead and put this last one over here. It is really dry in my house right now. I'm just making sure that my photos are lined up the way I want them to. Again, I want to still see that little bit of border, right? Perfect. And now with these, we are going to stack them on top of each other, and then this top one is going to be the one that's going to get flipped and stuck down, okay? So we're going to peel these off. We're going to stack them on top of each other, just like this. Just make sure that those are lined up the way you want them to. I'm also trying to make sure that my pictures are tucked down inside the way I want them to. Yep, that looks good. And then here's the last one, and it is going to go right directly on top. Okay, and now I'm going to flip this down and try to get those pictures down inside the pocket, just so that they don't pop up too high. And there we go. And so now I have many, like almost like a little mini album, which is so perfect. And it's not on there straight, so let me just line this up again, making sure that those are on straight. There we go. Now you can tell by looking at that. Oh my goodness, you guys, I love this so much, and I love adding flip-flaps to get more pictures onto your pages. Again, thank you guys so much for sticking with me, following along on these 5 Friday freebies. I hope that you're enjoying these sketches and you're getting a chance to play with them. And I will see you next week.